Alright everybody, getting back to work on the Fly Eagle 1/7 scale F-15. Decided to start with the nose wheel on this one, so I went ahead and took it out. I gotta take it out anyway and send it in and have it converted to electric. Or if I do it through Fly Eagle, which they're offering now, they'll just send me the motors and hopefully they'll just bolt on, you know, in place of this air cylinder. But you know, typical setup, goes in the jet like this. You got a piece that bolts on here at the back. It's got these little prongs here that go into this steel rod here to help. That's what actually turns it. But the controls is a pull, and this just goes down to your servo down here. What they supplied would probably work. A lot smaller rod. It's like a 2.5 millimeter, with the it's hard to see, little plastic ball end, which is what they use on a lot of their gear doors. So I don't know how much torque is on that nose gear when you're landing and taking off, but that's a little skimpy. It may work, but I know just from the gear door experience that these things are such a hard plastic that they get brittle pretty quick and they'll snap on you. So what I did is I had some extra rods. These are real big. These are actually the aileron rods that I didn't use on the F-16. And of course these heavy duty ball ends. So moved over because of the two holes on the end were for the original 2 millimeter balls they had on there. So I moved in, drilled and retapped it for a larger, pretty much a 3 millimeter bolt. Now it's got these nice heavy duty ball ends with lock nuts instead of just a nut, and it's a lot beefier. No slop here, which, you know, is a good thing for a nose wheel, because, you know, any little slop with these little nose wheels like this, it's all over the place. But that's the first little thing I changed. Like I said, you don't have to. I know some guys use the stock setup, and I don't think they've had any issues. I just decided to do it because I had the extra stuff and figured why not. So there's mod number 1. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Like I said, it goes in. This piece is going to mount back here with the screws. Oops, excuse me. Just like this. I need a third hand. There we go. Goes in there just like that, and this goes back to the servo. These rods are a little bit shorter, but I can move the tray. Comes with a plywood tray. This is what the steering servo bolts to, and this mounts right back here behind it. So I can turn it around, move forward, move aft, trim this as needed to get the right length. So I'm not too worried about these being a little bit shorter. That was another thing. You know, these things are so long, you know, for their size, that they're kind of flimsy. I can sit there and bend it with my hand, so any little bump or something they probably would have bent and just, you know, weakened them over time. So I'll get it back in, show you what it looks like installed real quick. Like I said, I just drilled this for 3 millimeter bolt and tapped it with these heavy duty. These are actually, I think, they're steel rods, so they're a lot stronger. Steering servo, it's going to be a Futaba S90 074 SB, which is roughly like 298 ounces of torque, way more than I'm going to need, but it is the lowest torque servo before going down to, you know, like 100 ounces. So this is pretty much what I'm going to be putting on all the control surfaces, minus the elevator and rudder. The elevator and rudder are going to be high voltage. I'm going to be running these 500 ounce PLS 172 S-bus servos on the elevators. And then the rudder, since we're going to be high voltage, I went with a 175, which is 291 ounces, so that's plenty for rudders. So you don't do much with them. And that's about it. These are going to be running 6.6 volts, which is nice with the system I'm using. You can actually you've got four junctions, and you can set them, one to 7.4 volts, or one, and the other two to 6, or the other two to 4.8. So, but you have to have two that match. So it's like an A1, A2 can be 7.4, and then B1, B2 can be 6 volts. So kind of a neat thing. But that's about it. Went with these two of these King Tech 170s. It's the new style. It's nice just having one fuel line. I guess all the valves are in here, so a lot easier, simpler setup. Only thing that sucks is if your valve goes bad, you got to send it back in. But oh well. And I kind of talked about this too. This is what Barry sent me, kind of replacing the little handheld monitor that you plug into your ECU. It's light enough to be mounted in the jet, which is probably what I'm going to do, because it's pretty neat. It's got some cool features. Lets you actually monitor the loads on the system, on the batteries, things like that. Plus, you can use it to check servos, which is kind of neat, little extra feature. Let's see, that's 14 minutes. That's it. I'm gonna put it back in, do a real quick couple pictures and a real quick video showing you guys with it back in, and then I'll move on to the elevator and rudders. Take it easy.